Hey there, Internet. This is Explosions and Exposition. I'm Explosions, this is Exposition. Welcome to our show.
Hey there, Internet. Welcome back to Explosions Exposition. I'm Exposition. This is my good friend Explosions. Now, today we're going to be doing what we hope will become an annual thing for us, where we take a look at films coming out next year, make our predictions for how these films will do critically and obviously commercially.
But also, and then next year, since we didn't do one last year because, this wasn't a thing last year, we're going to look back and see how our predictions fared. Did Avengers 2 make all the money, or did Star Wars make all the money?
And these will be things we look on. So let's begin. You've got the list. So
I have the list.
Let's start.
First up is a film that has already been released in America, but we're seeing it literally on the 1st of January, so let's kick off with it. Birdman.
I want Birdman to win.
Yeah, the reviews have kind of been mixed. It's sort of positive, positive reviews. But what it seems to be saying is it's almost too pretentious for its own good. Now, I like the whole meta gag that it's, they've got Michael Keaton playing a washed-up actor who played Birdman, and he's really famous. And the whole meta gig there, I think, is really fun. You've got a fantastic cast: Edward Norton, Zach Galifianakis. Yes.
Okay.
Doing that. I want to see it. I'm going to see it.
We're going to go watch it. And I hope it does better over here than it's been doing over in America.
I don't think it's ever going to get a commercial win.
It's not the kind of film that will.
I think it's going to make enough money back, so it's a positive. It gets money, but I don't think it's not going to flop.
It's not going to. It's going to stay steady. I feel it's going to be one of those quiet films that basically. I feel it's a room divider. Either it's going to be too pretentious for some people, or other people are going to feel it hits the mark.
Yeah, I mean
that's my prediction.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Next up we have Taken 3.
I hope it falls. I hope I see an end to the Taken franchise here and now.
See, if it's Taken 1 was amazing because it was an 18. It had really great, not realistic, but real-ish violence.
Yes.
And when someone got shot in it, you felt the bullet wound. When there was a fist fights, the impacts were heavy. They were realistic impacts.
Yeah, Taken 1 was well done. Taken 2 went too far.
Taken 2 was a 12.
Yeah.
And that was the problem. There wasn't any blood. The fights didn't have any weight to them. And it was just fluff. It was a money grab. It was terrible. If Taken 3 is a continuation of the Taken 2 trend, I want it to die. I want it to flop so bad.
I think it'll flop. I think they've gone too far and it's going to flop.
I mean, but if we get not a rebuild of it, but a return to its dark, gritty roots, then I think it could really work. I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to flop.
Yeah, I feel a flop's coming here.
But I want to be proved wrong on this. Next up we have Into the Woods, the continuation of the singing blockbuster.
I think this will do well.
I don't.
Okay, why do you not?
Because it's an adaptation of a very popular play, which has rape, incest. It's got some very dark themes to it, all of which have been sanitized from the final film.
I can see why you think that, Phil. However, I think you doubt the buying power of prepubescent girls who like to sing.
That's true. We are coming off the back, or the still rampaging Frozen mania.
And I think Hollywood is looking to do its next Frozen.
I don't think it's going to be its next Frozen then.
I don't think it will be its next Frozen. I think this film's going to succeed commercially, maybe not critically, but commercially I think this film's going to do great.
I don't think it's going to do great. I think it's going to do acceptable. I don't think it's going to do great, but it's not going to flop. I really don't think it's going to flop.
Yeah, no, this is not a flopping film.
Next up we have Foxcatcher.
Remind me, Foxcatcher.
Foxcatcher is based on a true story of an eccentric million billionaire played by Steve Carell. Carell,
yeah.
Okay, got the name right. Who basically decides that he wants to become the head coach in America of American wrestling and bring America back to its place. I think it's fantastic because it's got a wonderful meta conversation about Americans' view of how America plays on the world stage. It's also got the fact it's based on a real story. It's also got apparently very touching performances from Mark Ruffalo as Channing Tatum's more touchy-feely brother, who is also a wrestler. Also apparently got a very nice performance by Channing Tatum, who is actually a really good actor.
Yeah, we've seen him come out and he can do the acting.
And Steve Carell is also apparently very good in this.
Steve Carell I love because I've seen him do comedy. I like his comedy when it's done well. he can do serious still.
Yeah.
And like the lengths they've gone to do the prosthetics to make him look like this old Wellard. He looks. You could not recognise him, and I love it. I think that's going to add so much to it.
And critically, this film is going to do fantastic, and it's Oscar bait. I'm not sure how it's going to fare commercially.
Commercially, I think it's going to sail by.
It's coming in January though. January is generally quite a dead period in box office, so I think it'll do well because it's not really facing off against anything. And what it's facing off against, it looks like, is Into the Woods actually. So it's your different markets.
Yeah, you've got your Into the Woods for the children, and you've got this one is the adult film. And I feel, based upon that, it's going commercially. It's going to do okay. It's not going to do like brilliantly. Yeah. It's the wrong time of year for that. It's going to do okay. And critically, I agree with you. Critically, I think this is Oscar bait.
Yeah, I think I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I think this is a chance for Steve Carell and Channing Tatum to really flex the acting muscles that I think they have.
And we already know Mark Ruffalo is a great actor.
We know, he's proven it.
He's done so much. Like, obviously, we like him best as the Hulk, but...
there's all things.
He's done so many great... He's done great comedy in Brothers Bloom. He's done great drama in Into the Cut. He was in that film with the Julianne Moore as the lesbian couple.
Oh, don't do this to me.
Yeah, that was a really good film. He was fantastic in it.
But yeah, no, it's high hopes for this film.
Yeah.
High hopes for this film.
Next up, we have Mordecai.
Mordecai, I had not heard of till today, and now that I've heard about it, I am genuinely excited. Yeah. Wow.
Unless all the good parts from the trailer, this looks like a genuine laugh-out-loud comedy. I think it's going to make a lot of money, because Johnny Depp still has star power, even though he's had a few flops recently.
He's had a few flops, but Johnny Depp can still do it.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor...
Ewan McGregor is one of those actors that, for a while I was like, oh, but he was in, some of the worst... And then I went, no, he's a funny actor, he's a good actor, Ewan McGregor will pull this.
Yeah. Also, we've got Gwyneth Paltrow's in it, playing a very fun character by the looks of it. Also, Paul Bettany, one of my favourite actors, is playing like a darker version of Jarvis. So I'm happy with this.
The man's been typecast, but in the best way possible. We just need him to get another 20 years and we can see him play Alfred.
God, yes.
Yeah, see?
Next up, we have one of the films I'm really looking forward to as the sci-fi nerd in me, Ex Machina, which is... it looks like only started, I think, 3 people. Domhnall Gleeson, who was in Time, not in Time, the other one, About Time.
Right.
Who played a very good actor in that. I think he was also in the Harry Potter as a Weasley maybe.
Just continue, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, and Oscar Isaac's also a very good actor.
Yes.
Basically, Oscar Isaacs is a computer engineer who creates an artificial intelligence, who is the third character, who's in a robot body, a proper cyborg. And Domino is brought in to assess whether or not this cyborg is human, it can be truly turned an artificial intelligence, and whether or not they should terminate her.
Right.
And it's like we were talking about in the last episode with the Blacklist about the AI.
Yeah, it's that similar idea.
It's that idea. It's those themes that are being played with. And I've seen the trailer. The trailer looks fantastic. And it does look like the twist is also going to be that Gleeson is going to turn out to be a cyborg as well. I think that's the twist that's coming in it. I feel that twist almost like negate the movie, but I'm waiting to see it.
It has potential. I think this is going to become a cult film.
It's going to be a cult film. I don't think it's necessarily going to tank commercially. I think it's going to do well critically, but I don't think mainstream audiences are going to connect. It's
not a mainstream film. It is. It has all the markings of cult.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Next up, Inherent Vice.
Okay, go on.
This film has Joaquin Phoenix.
Do you like his work?
He's amazing, and he's basically playing a washed-up private eye in 80s, I think it's Miami. And it's got Lucy Liu, it's got Owen Wilson, it's got Josh Brolin. And basically, they're deliberately playing all the tropes of like a private eye movie in this like sort of drug-fueled, weird movie. Which has a wonderful shootout in the trailer between Joaquin Phoenix and a character off screen where he just fires the gun like drunkenly and like falls down and he just goes, "Did I shoot you? If I got you, you're gonna tell me," or something to that effect. And it looks batshit crazy. It's like The Big Lebowski with more guns. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to tank commercially, but I'm really looking forward to it.
I think that film is going to tank commercially,
Yeah.
and I think critically it's going to split the house.
I think it's going to be a split the house moment. Yeah,
it's a split the house film by the sounds of it.
Next up, Big Hero 6. Do we even have to talk about this? This is going to win commercially.
It's
already won praise in America.
It's Disney, isn't it?
It's Disney doing a Marvel.
It's Disney doing a Marvel,
but not connected to the wider cinematic universe.
Not obviously connected. Well, it's animated. It can't not do well commercially. Almost, it's almost impossible.
Critically, it's already got good reviews in America.
It's had good reviews. Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to really badmouth it by the sound of it.
No, like it might be up for best animated.
Yeah,
for all we know.
I'm really looking forward to it.
It looks like it's going to be good fun.
I'm really looking forward.
I mean, from what you expect, this film is going to be one of the big ones of the year. I think.
Next up is actually a film that's not coming out anymore because fuck you, Sony.
Yes, and the interview. Yes. I really, really wanted to see this from the moment I heard about the premise and the actors. I was just so looking forward to it, and I still have kind of hopes that it will get released.
I think in some form, yeah.
Maybe a year or so, but it's been cancelled, so it's already failed.
Yeah. Wait.
Moment of silence.
Yeah, I mean, do you not remember the First Amendment, freedom of speech? You're giving in to the fucking terrorists.
I believe every heroic president in every movie you've ever made says we do not negotiate with terrorists. Just saying.
Yeah.
Not how we beat them in independence. Continue. Next film.
Next up is a film that should have been released this year. I'm really looking forward to it. I don't think anyone else is, but Jupiter Ascending.
You're the only one looking forward to it. It looks like another pre-teen, Twilight-y, that level of... What was the other one? Divergence. Is that out yet?
That's been out. The sequel's coming out.
It's a sequel. And I just... No. It looks like it's going to be awful.
And I counter with the Wachowski siblings.
Yeah, because they've not failed before.
Cloud Atlas.
I've not seen it. I can't argue that.
Cloud Atlas is amazing. The Wachowski siblings, they've not really genuinely failed. They've not made commercial successes necessarily, but they've made, I feel all their films have been good. V for Vendetta.
Okay, right, look, they have the potential to make a good film.
Yeah.
I do not think so. I think this film's going to be a commercial success.
Really? Sony have already warned their backers that to expect commercial failure out of this film.
Have they?
Yeah, they've already went on record saying that.
Okay, well then I may need to have to go back and review this film, but I think they're going to win on the teeny thing.
Really, I think it's going to. Commercially, I think it's going to fail. Critically, I think you're going to get a few tepid reviews. However, I think there's going to be a really strong fandom response to it later down on the line.
A typical Wachowski then.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, I fell in love with this film when Mia Kunis has the line. It's like, "I love you." Channing Tatum turns around and says, "I have more in common with a dog than I have with you, Highness." She goes, "I love dogs." I love that. Oh, Channing Tatum is playing like a sort of wolf-human hybrid, if that makes the joke any better. No. It's going to be fantastic.
I'm judging you so harshly.
I look forward to you being proved wrong.
I hope I am not.
Next up we have the Oscar bait. He's in Selma, Martin Luther King biopic about the civil rights movement. The trailer makes it look fantastic. It's got a bunch of heavyweight actors in it.
It's going to do well in every aspect, I feel.
I'm not sure it's going to do well commercially.
Right, again...
It's coming out in February, so I think it might...
It's going to come out in the black commercially. It's going to do well, but it's definitely going to do well critically, and I feel they're going to make money off it.
Also, we'd like to point out, when he said coming out in the black, he meant in financial terms, and that was not a racial comment.
Yeah, that was...
Just given the... I feel given the content of the film...
Given the content of the film, yes, it had to be said, but...
Yeah. Next up we have an interesting one, A Strange Magic. It's George Lucas's next project.
Which makes me very...
It makes me very nervous about it. It looks like it's meant to be an adaptation of Midsummer Night's Dream, which is one of my favourite Shakespeare plays. It also has Alan Cumming playing the bad guy, so I'm on board with it. I think it's going to be a commercial success. Critically, I think it's going to get panned.
I think it's going to get panned critically, but commercially. I agree with you on this one entirely. Commercially, it has the right...
I'm not sure it's going to have the longevity.
No, it will not last beyond a couple months.
Yeah. Well, after that, we have Kingsman: The Secret Service.
Now, I read the comic book.
Can I go first?
Go first.
Because I read the book before the comic book.
There was a book before the...
Stormbreaker. This is a rip-off of Anthony Horowitz.
Oh my God, you can. But he wasn't a complete Ned in Anthony Horowitz.
Well, no, in Anthony Horowitz, Alex Rider was a complete middle class.
Yeah, he was complete. Yeah. Whereas this, they're taking a complete working class.
Yeah, I mean, the concept is completely stolen from Alex Rider. I know it's like a different character and stuff, but I just want to say, people go back and read Stormbreaker. Stormbreaker was a fantastic book. The film was terrible, but the book was amazing, and Point Blanc was even better. It kind of went downhill after that, admittedly, but I'm gonna defend Anthony Horowitz here and just say that. Though I do like the joke in the trailer about if I save the world, will you give me a kiss? And the female in the cage goes, "I'll give you more than a bloody kiss." And I was like, nice. Action films, like, very rarely they actually straight up mention that this girl is totally gonna bang this guy.
Yeah.
If he saves the world. I have a lot of issues with it. Like, there's a lot of stuff in the trailer which I think looks very misogynistic and could, like, while working a comic book, might not work on stage. But aside from that, all the actors look like they're having a shit ton of fun. Colin Firth, that pub scene is amazing.
Yeah. Ultimately, I think this film is going to do well commercially.
Yes. Critically,
you're going to get a couple decent reviews, maybe.
Yeah. I think the general critical line is going to be the actors had fun. It's a fun film. It's not worth thinking about, but it's enjoyable.
It's not ultimately a clever. You can tell Colin Firth, Samuel L. Jackson especially looks like he's having the time of his life.
Yes.
In some of those, and I think I'm going to be really annoyed with the Ned for the first few, but then he's going to become the proper English gentleman, which annoys me. That I'm annoyed by the fact when he's working class and then he becomes middle upper class, and suddenly I'm going to accept him. Yeah. That's going to annoy me so much.
You classist, you.
I know, but still, it's what this movie is going to be.
To remedy that, you should read the political treatise Ned, the demonization of the working class.
I am not getting into this in one of these videos.
But yes.
And I've read that, so we can start.
Next up, we have 50 Shades of Grey.
No.
Commercially, I think it's going to do well. It's going to get panned critically.
It's going to get panned critically, and commercially it's going to do well for about a month and a half until suddenly everyone finds out that it's not as good as the books were.
I think to be fair, I think a month is going to be pushing. I think this thing's going to die after 2 weeks.
I think everyone who read...
It's going to do an Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
It's going to tank in that direction.
Yeah.
And hopefully lose out to an amazing, frat comedy.
No, that's fantastic.
But yeah, okay. Next up we have Predestination, an interesting film where it's about time travel. I mean, admittedly the last one, Looper, wasn't as great as we hoped, but this one looks quite good. It's about a sort of time cop, travelling through time, hunting his nemesis. It looks like it's got some quite interesting stuff. I think he starts off in the 40s, or he ends up in the 40s for a while. I think the twist is going to be that he is the nemesis he has been hunting, and he's actually working for the bad guy. I feel that's the twist that's coming.
Yeah. I can't see this film doing well critically, I have to say.
Really, I think it could do well critically because it's Ethan Hawke doing it, and he's a critic darling.
I suppose, yeah.
And I don't think it's going to do it commercially either, to be honest.
I think this is going to be one of those films that, and not so much a flop, but just it gets forgotten quite quickly.
Yeah. A film that I do think is going to get forgotten quite quickly is the next one, is Black Hat. Chris Hemsworth is a hacker. I mean, this...
Sounds like all wrong, but go on.
I mean, basically, Chris Hemsworth is a hacker that is serving a jail sentence, but is then recruited by the FBI to stop an even bigger, badder hacker, and basically it looks like a 90s version of what hackers were, and I don't want to go back to that. And I think this is going to flop critically.
I think it's going to be flop because you've seen a lot recently about how unrealistically hackers are portrayed by Hollywood, and you're getting a bit of backlash for that, I feel.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. This is going to flop.
Yeah. I mean, the trailer seems to also indicate that at some point the FBI turn on Chris Hemsworth, and he goes solo hunting down this big hacker, and it actually brings a gun to kill the big hacker. And you see what I mean? Like one of those.
It's going to be Watch Dogs. It's going to be like, oh look, that hacking could be so fun, and then you get to it, and it's not that great.
Next up, we have Chappie.
Chappie.
Which is about... And it's another AI film, actually.
Oh, they're quite actually the hot ticket these days, I feel, as well.
Basically, a group of researchers create this robot who is a true AI, and is wondering about, is learning... he doesn't escape, he's released by them because the government try and shut him down.
Right.
And it's about him learning. It's very much like, a cerebral look at the sort of middle half of Terminator 2 Judgment Day. The bit where Arnie's learning to be human. It's essentially but for and it's also about there's a bit of racism in there. It's how do we treat the other in our lives, and how do we accept someone like for culture difference and stuff. And there's a lot of interesting themes going in it. It's got Hugh Jackman and Sigourney Weaver in it, and both of them are good, solid actors. To be honest, I'm looking forward to it because it's another AI thing.
It's another AI thing, but I'm not sure how I feel this one would go, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel commercial fail, critical success.
I think so. I think it's going to be that Frank robot.
Yes.
I think something like that. I think it's going to follow the same success ratio.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it's going to be quite a cult following as well when it hits the.
It does. It always sounds like the AI ones always do end up with a cult following. I feel. It kind of depends how they do the AI. I feel, but commercial fail, critical success.
And after that, we have Kill the Messenger, which is actually the film I was talking about in the previous episode about the Contra affair.
Ah, yes.
And this is Jeremy Renner as the reporter who broke the news in, I think it was a magazine, about how the CIA were supplying cocaine to Mexican cartels in exchange for they were doing favors and stuff. And
this is Oscar bait movie.
Yeah, it's definitely Oscar bait. It looks fantastic. The trailers look really intense, really interesting. We already know Jeremy Renner does have acting chops beyond playing Jason Bourne off in Hawkeye.
So I'm thinking definitely a critical success.
I think critical success because the whole Contra affair is still a hot button topic at the moment, especially with.
And there's not been much cinematically done on it.
I don't think I think there's been a couple of stuff that's nudge nudge wink wink. This is about Contra.
Yeah, and you've had the odd comedy do it, the nudge nudge wink wink. Yeah.
But no, I think this is going to be Oscar bait. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a commercial so-so, maybe success.
I think so.
I mean, it's coming out in March, and there's not really anything that's really going to compete with it in the same dimension. It's got Chappie's the thing that's coming out, so I don't think Chappie's going to...
No.
It's different audiences. So,
you've got different audiences, and ultimately it's... commercially so, critically success.
After that, we have Insurgent, which is the sequel to Divergent, which you've not seen. I've seen. It's pretty terrible. I think it made a lot of money. Insurgent, I think, will go on to make significant amounts of money. I think it's going to be slammed critically.
But commercially successful because it's filling a niche that Twilight and that created.
Yeah.
And no one worthwhile. And Hunger Games. But Hunger Games is your Christmas blockbuster.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's going to... Critically, I think Insurgent's going to flop. I think commercially it's going to do well. Personally, I'm going to see it because I saw the first one and I refused to read the book, so I kind of just want to see what happens.
Yeah, fair enough. You know what? Can't judge anyone on
that. We also have the remake of Cinderella coming next year with Helena Bonham Carter as the good fairy.
No, the godmother, fairy godmother.
That's what I mean. Yeah, fairy godmother. To be honest, I think this is going to tap into Frozen. I think it's going to commercially it's going to do well because
it's that same area.
Critically, I think it's going to flop.
I think it's going to flop critically. Commercially, it's going to do well because I think they're trying to hit the same, as I said earlier, for Into the Woods, that same stream.
Maleficent kind of thing.
Yeah.
They're all popular movies at the moment. I'm not really looking forward to it. The trailer didn't sell it for me because it looks like it looks like a retelling of the cartoon rather than doing anything different with it.
Yeah, if they've gone in a different direction, but it does feel like they're just doing a live action cartoon.
I really enjoyed Maleficent.
Yeah.
And that's because they did something different and new with it. Even though it was kind of Frozen but with Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
Which, I'm fine with. But anyway, next up we have Seventh Son, which is which has Jeff Bridges playing a drunk Gandalf, essentially.
Which we're always for.
But I really like the books this is based on. This is based on the Spook series.
Okay.
Which is a really fun young adult novel about witch hunters, essentially. Oh. And it's actually pretty fun. I'd write they're only that thick and take about an evening to read. This is based on that. I think it's a rather loose adaptation. But it also has Julianne Moore playing the evil witch.
Awesome.
Which is kind of awesome. But yeah, I think commercially, it's been pushed back so often that I'm not entirely sure it's going to do well commercially. Critically, I think it's going to go so-so.
I think this is going to be critical coast by and a commercial failure.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to this.
It has good names attached to it, but they're not.
They're not A-listers anymore.
They're not A-listers. They're not big. They're not big pools, and it's a loose base on a
pretty much unknown
books. So it's not. Yeah, no commercial fail.
Next up, John Wick. I'm really looking forward to this movie. It's Keanu Reeves. I love Keanu Reeves. He has done some flops, but generally I think even in his flops, he's good in it because he's doing something that no one else seems to get.
Well,
He's a bit like Adrian Brody. Adrian Brody turns up and acts the shit out of something, even if like the director has no idea what he's actually acting the shit about, and he's generally very good. Keanu Reeves, I feel, is a very similar actor. Like, he could have easily went, like, sort of the basic leading man role model early in his career, but he decided he was going to do stuff he wanted to do, stuff that interested him.
And I can respect him for that.
It's not really paid off commercially for him, but I do feel there's not much of his work that he can look back and say, I shouldn't have done that. Like, everything he's done has had some merit to it, or at least his involvement in it has had some merit. My opinion, I admit I'm a bit of a
What about that rom-com he did with Jack Nicholson?
Well, I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Don't.
Okay.
It might dispel all your dreams, yes.
Saying, check out Man of Tai Chi. Man of Tai Chi is his directional debut and it's fantastic.
Yes.
But John Wick is very interesting because it's some first-time directors. It's actually two directors.
All right.
Both of whom have regularly worked together, and they're stunt directors. And that's basically what's coming out of because John Wick's already been released in America.
Okay.
And the critical feedback we've been getting from that is, holy crap, the fight scenes are amazing. I mean, everything else is like understated, like sort of over-the-top noir gangster style things.
Love it.
And which sounds fine, but also it's apparently done in a way that is actually very interesting. So it's an interesting take on the world that they inhabit. It's painted. It's minimalist painting, so it's like they indicate things rather than tell things. So that actually opens up wider possibilities. And also, apparently, the action scenes are amazing. So this is the kind of thing you go on a Friday night and just it's a popcorn movie.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's quite a smart popcorn movie.
It sounds like a smart popcorn movie. I think critically then it's already doing well. So it's going to be
from the crowds that follow action movies, it's getting critical reception. Mainstream critics have been kind of like so-soing it.
But from its own people.
Yeah, it's been getting good reviews. Commercially, I don't think it's going to do fantastic. I think it'll break even. I don't think it's going to be a flop.
I think, a break-even film, probably, because Keanu Reeves, despite what you say, is still a name puller.
Yeah.
And action films generally do well.
They do well enough.
Like, because it's one of those things, you go to the cinema, you go, do I want to go see this? And the one thing everyone agrees on is, let's just go watch an action film.
Yeah. Next up, Avengers 2.
It's going to win all the money.
All the money.
All the money.
The thing is, of course, is whether or not it suffers too much under the expectations in terms of critical reception. I think I have faith in Whedon. I have faith in everyone involved in this project.
I have faith in I have James Spader as the voice of Ultron. I love him.
Yeah. Apparently he was also doing the mocap.
Really?
Some of the stuff as well, yeah.
That makes it even better for me.
Yeah.
Like, I think, like, critically, maybe not, it's not going to do as critically well as Avengers.
I don't think
because of...
Unless it knocks out of the park.
Unless it somehow knocks out of the park. But I still think he's going to do very well critically.
I think it's going to do well critically. I think it's going to make all the money. I think that's the sure bet of the year.
Yeah, that is your winning ticket there.
Next up we have Mad Max Fury Road. I'm really looking forward to this because you never hear about a movie that the producers turn around and say, no, you have to recut this because we're giving you an additional $1 million.
Yes.
Like, that happened. Oh, that happened. Tom Hardy
that
as Mad Max.
never happens.
It's got a bunch of other good actors. Charlie Theron as I think a good person, a good guy.
Charlie Theron was a good guy for once. Yeah.
But like presumably still a badass.
Yeah, usually.
Nicholas Hoult is actually an actor I quite enjoy.
He turns up now and then, and it's just he always just goes, "Oh my God, you're actually good at. I like you."
Yeah, and he's playing a villain.
Really?
It looks like he's playing one of like the crazies.
That's fantastic.
And he looked really crazy in it.
I think this film's going to do well. Critically, I don't think it's going to do that well.
Critically, I think it's... Yeah, I don't think it's going to do that well critically.
Not well. Commercially, I think you're going to get a lot off the fact that it's a Mad Max remake. Yeah. You're going to get a lot of goodwill from that.
I think it's going to be instant cult classic.
Yes, I think I agree with you. It's a cult classic in the making.
We have Pitch Perfect 2 coming out. Did you ever see Pitch Perfect?
No, actually, I did not.
It's actually a nice remedy to Glee.
Really?
It's like a genuine grown-up Glee.
Oh.
And that's quite nice. Like it's still teeny, it's still angsty. Like half the twist you can see coming on, a mile off.
Yeah.
But I'm actually I was dragged to see the first one. I'm willing to go see the second one because Rebel Wilson continues to steal my heart.
Okay,
She is incredibly funny in it.
I think judging because Pitch Perfect 1 was obviously a success.
It was commercial and critical success.
So I think.
Commercial success guaranteed.
Commercial success guaranteed. Critical success, I feel it's going to suffer the same way that the Avengers 2 is going to suffer.
Yeah.
They're going to expect a lot, and it's going to have to answer a lot. So I'm imagining critical so-so.
Yeah. The most interesting one on this list is actually Tomorrowland, because you know very little about it.
Yes.
It's apparently sort of an Ayn Randian adaptation of something, I can't remember quite what, but it's got George Clooney as this inventor. And, well, the basic premise is this young girl finds a pin badge, I believe, that transports her or allows her to see Tomorrowland, which is a place run by scientists, and I don't think there's any government. I think it's like, a council of science runs everything. Everything's like completely advanced. Like, it basically a love letter to small government and rationalism over democracy, I believe.
Yes.
I think commercially, this has the potential to tank.
It sounds far too niche. The fact that it's an Ayn Randism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people are kind of tired of her.
Yeah. I think critically it has a potential.
Yeah, I mean, critically it's got George Clooney. Critics love George Clooney. I think
he's a good actor.
It's got Hugh Laurie in as well.
I wanted to do well now.
Yeah, I wanted to do well.
I'm going to go see it, and I think it's going. I think it's. My prediction is going to be a critical splitter.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to get some critics who absolutely slate it, but that's going to be based upon political beliefs because of the Ayn Randism. You're going to get some critics who support it
because of the Ayn Randism.
Because of the Ayn Randism. I think commercially it's going to fail because it's far too niche, I feel. I think you're going to get a very small cult. And I think I'm going to enjoy the film.
I'm not sure. It looks like it's been done really well. I'm not like... You enjoy Dark Knight Rises despite the political message and stuff. I can't stand it because of them. So I think that's going to be quite interesting for us to come back and look at.
Specifically that one. I'm quite looking forward to it.
Yeah. After that we have Jurassic World. I think we can rush past this one. Commercially, it's going to do fantastically. Critically, I think it's going to bomb.
Yeah, critical bomb, commercial fantastic.
I think that's going to be it.
I'm just going to go watch it, but I'm going to hate myself for it probably.
Minions, the Minion movie. I think again, commercial with success, critical bomb.
I think no, because I've got this horrible feeling that you're going to get a certain select amount of critics going, the family film of the year, and I'm tired of Minions, Callum. I'm tired of Minions.
I love Minions.
We're making a film about Minions and I nearly cried for Hollywood.
Yeah,
commercial success, definite. Critical success, you're going to get
I was really excited about this because I think initially Rachel Weisz was attached to the project, but I think she's been replaced by Sandra Bullock.
Oh, that is so disappointing.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, it can't not be a commercial success.
Yeah. Next up we have Terminator Genisys. Despite the name, commercial success, critical failure, I think.
Agreed.
Unless it's really well. I'm not.
I think they're going to fuck up the time. They always fuck up the time, and that's where the critics get them.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're going to do that, and it looks like they're trying too hard to be clever when they're not going to be.
Ted 2.
I don't know what to expect here at all.
Yeah, I think commercial success because the first one was a success, and it's a sequel, so sequel.
And say what you want, Seth MacFarlane still is a name that pulls.
He's a name that pulls. He's also he's consistent. If you like that kind of comedy, he's
if
going to
it's
give
your
you that
kind of humour,
comedy.
He can deliver it. Yeah.
And I think Ted 2 will just give you more of the same. And
I don't think it's going to be critically good.
I don't think critically Ted 2 has got quite a nice feedback, but I think Ted 2 is not going to get the same feedback because it's a sequel. They've seen it before. It's not.
Yeah.
You're no longer getting the I'm surprised this was good feeling. You're expecting it's going to be good, so I think it's going to be a critical failure, but I think it's going to be commercial success.
Agreed.
Pan. Now this is the one you're looking forward to.
I watched the trailer for Pan the other day, and I was sitting there going, they're making another Peter Pan film. The last one looked god awful. I avoided it for 10-foot pole. There's not been a good Peter Pan film since Hook. I am now genuinely excited. Hugh Jackman looks like he's ready to ham up everything, and it looks amazing. They've gone full hog on the Indians, which is racist, but
for me it looks like they've made the Indians from the cartoons even more a racist caricature, which kind of soured the trailer for me, but everything else looked good.
Yeah, I love the fact that they're doing a Hook and Peter Pan origins. I absolutely adore that. And I think this is going to be a commercial success.
I think it's going to be critical success, depending on how racist the Indians turn out to be.
Depending on how racist the Indians turn out to be, I think it has the potential to be a very good critical success as well, yes.
Next up, Ant-Man. It's going to be commercial success, no doubt.
He's niche, so critically it's interesting.
I think this is going to be the first Marvel film that's going to get genuinely bad critical reception. I think it's also
it's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. I also think this might not be as big a success as they might be expecting, but I'm not entirely sure what Marvel hopes out of this.
I think ultimately Ant-Man's a testing ground because he's a famous character.
Yeah.
And it's one of those, again, it's kind of like how Guardians of the Galaxy was almost a testing ground for them. Depending on how well this done, depends on how well they can do other ones.
Yeah. So I think Guardians of the Galaxy has let them do Doctor Strange and the Inhumans without worry. But I think Ant-Man is going to let them do more of the weirder Earth heroes without worry.
Yes, exactly. Because we could accept, like Doctor Strange's magic, Guardians of the Galaxy is space. So we can accept a certain level of weirdness, whereas the humans, we kind of have a limit.
Yeah.
And Ant-Man lets them gauge that.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It's going to be a commercial success on the Marvel name.
Yes, alone.
Critically, at best, it will do so.
Yeah, I think so. Unless they pull another rabbit out of the hat, but I'm not expecting it.
I can't see a rabbit with Ant-Man.
Next up, Inside Out. This is it's an animated feature where it's a young girl going through puberty, but her emotions are played out by characters inside her head.
Yes, I saw the trailer for this.
This looks amazing, doesn't it?
I legitimately like this. It's the fact that is this Pixar?
I think it's Pixar, yeah.
It's just, once again, Pixar went, we've got this wonderful little idea and we're going to play it for all it's worth. I like the look of this film. I honestly think it's going to do well commercially if it's a Pixar, regardless of what I see.
And I think critically it's going to do well as well. It's a new concept.
It's a new concept. The trailer actually made me laugh. That is a rarity.
Yeah. Next up we have the Fantastic Four reboot, which is happening despite the fact that
no one knows. There's not even a picture for it on the website.
Yeah, Fox haven't announced it.
This can't do well.
I think this is going to bomb on all fronts.
I don't think they care. That's what annoys me. They don't care that it's going to bomb.
It's all about keeping the rights away from Marvel.
I don't care that they don't care. I don't even mind if the Fantastic Four is done badly. Just give me the Doom I want.
Yeah, or at least give a shit about the film you're making.
Yeah.
After that we have Goosebumps. Jack Black's in it.
I don't know what to expect from it. It's my childhood.
Yeah.
It is my childhood.
I was never a Goosebumps fan. I like the Choose Your Own Scare books, but that was it.
Commercially, it's going to do well on the name.
Yeah, nostalgia.
Nostalgia is going to make them money. I think it's going to bomb critically.
Critically, yeah, I think it's going to bomb critically. After that, I think we have another Hitman movie.
That's going to bomb in every front.
I hope it doesn't, because I really enjoy Hitman. But the only good Hitman story is when when the agency turned against him and tried and kill him. We've already seen that it didn't work.
Yeah.
If they're gonna throw a love interest in there, that's not what Hitman's about.
No, I think it's gonna bomb.
Yeah.
Just completely. I would like a Hitman film.
Yeah. Zachary Quinto is playing Hitman. He's playing Agent 47. I like Zachary Quinto.
But I
think it's a fail.
Yeah. I can't picture a world where it works.
Next up, we have I think the one you're most looking forward to. It's Spectre.
I loved Skyfall. I want that clear. Skyfall for me was them doing an up-to-date, modern Bond film. Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, they had good points and problems. They were trying to go, Jason Bourne is in. Skyfall was when they went, we don't care that Jason Bourne is in.
We're having James Bond back.
We're doing a Bond film. This is a Bond film. Spectre, it's got Sam Mendes back. They've got a lot of good with that. They've got Christoph Waltz as the bad guy. It's already generating buzz. It's going to be a commercial success. And I really want it to be a critical success. I think it has the potential to be a critical success.
Yeah.
And at worst, I can't imagine it doing any worse than So-So.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a James Bond fan. I have huge issues with the franchise.
The misogyny, mainly.
Largely that. I think Archer is the James Bond we need.
Archer is the James Bond we deserve.
Yeah. However, I'm still going to go see Spectre because Christopher Waltz, and also Spectre is the iconic organisation that Quantum of Solace was trying to be.
Yeah, and I think with Sam Mendes directing, it's going to do well.
It's not going to be terrible. I actually, despite myself, enjoyed Skyfall, despite the entire
I feel
bullshit happening.
Javier Bardem. Javier.
He saved that film for me.
He was a wonderful villain, and they've gone back to this where the villain makes the film as much as anything else, because it's kind of like the Christopher Nolan's, I feel, in some ways. The villain often makes the film. Because we know Batman, we know James Bond. The villain's the new one.
Yeah, and it's growing to love and hate them at the same time. I agree with you on this. Spectre, I'm going to say commercial success as James Bond. They're always commercially successful.
Yeah.
Critically, since Sam Mendes is back doing it, I think it's going to be success critically. He's a good director. He knows how to make a Bond film, despite my misgivings with the franchise.
They've got good actors.
Everything's lined up for Spectre to be good. And now, obviously, the elephant in the theatre, or technically the Millennium Falcon in the theatre.
Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
obviously commercially this is going to be fantastic. It's going to blow Avengers 2 money out of the water.
Like any money that Avengers 2 left on the table, Star Wars will eat, multiply, and breed with to make more. You just can't not make money on a Star Wars film.
Critically, overhype, the potential of overhype. I mean,
it's the potential of overhype, the potential of underhype.
Yeah, I mean,
right. Look at it this way: to contend with, it has the prequel trilogy to go against. So
that's true, though. Anything's better than that.
Like, sure. We're kind of coming into it cynically as hell.
Which
we expect to be heartbroken.
Yeah, which is kind of a good way to start. I think it's going to give given a lot of benefit of the doubt as well.
Yes.
I think if the sequels of it will have less goodwill to play with if this tanks critically. But I think first time around, I think the critics are going to go easy on it.
I think you're right. I think critically it's going to do so roughly.
Yeah.
And I would love for it to do well. I'd love for us to get a clever, well-paced, well-plotted Star Wars sequels. Yeah. I don't think we will. Yeah. I can see a critical so-so and a commercial.
We want an Empire Strikes Back. We're probably going to get the Clone Wars.
Yeah, probably. And that's the sad thing about this. Oh, Millie.
But that just comes back to J.J. Abrams.
It just comes to Abrams. He's pulled it off before, but
saying that, J.J. Abrams has apparently been reined in heavily by the head of LucasArts. There's apparently quite a lot of tension behind scenes with them. Whether the studio interference in this case would be a good thing or not, and meaning.
Well, let's remember in the original Star Wars, interference with George Lucas's vision was a good thing. Interference with J.J. Abrams' vision, it might be good, it might be bad. We don't know.
I mean, whatever happens, I'm at least guaranteed to have a lens flare version of the film come out.
Yeah.
And that's all I want from a J.J. Abrams Star Wars film.
That's all we actually want. I'm going to go with critical, social, commercial, all the monies.
I'm going to agree with you on this one.
Alright, once again we're in agreement on this one.
Yeah.
But that is most of the big names for the next year coming up.
Yeah. Don't think there's anything else we've missed. If there has, tell us in the comments.
Please do. We'll be looking back in a year or so to review how we reviewed them.
And I kind of hope we're wrong.
There's a few I hope I'm wrong, but I think we might be right.
I think we're on the money for most things.
Yeah.
In fact, future me, I wager you £10.
That's not how this works. Anyway,
thank you for watching.
Please do like and subscribe. Leave any comments if you can think of a topic for us to talk about in the upcoming year.
Seasonal greetings. Have a good Christmas, Hanukkah,
New Year.
Jubitorium.
Remember, drink responsibly. Later, Internet.